We have with us João Torrens Valente, lawyer at Morais Leitão Lawyers. My first question is, how did you live this year of 2020? Fantastic first quarter.
The year of 2020, thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts around the 2020 year. I think the 2020 was a real roller coaster in terms of activity, because it started in the first quarter with, well, I would say the best quarter ever in terms of activity, at least in the law sector, because the transactions in the real estate market in Portugal have been amazing, and so as a continuation from a year of 2019, and so we have lived the first quarter in with huge activity, many transactions, many investment volume, but this was the start, and then we had the COVID-ish pandemics arising. And this has completely changed, well, it was something global, not only local, and we have
so in March your life changed?
Fully changed, and so for everyone. I continued to work all the days in the office, by the way. It was I was not locked down as everyone. I continued to come to the office, and I worked on a day-to-day basis here together with a small team of partners in the office. So I've witnessed what is to work in the office whilst everyone was locked down, and the experience was, in terms of activity, it was a huge slowdown. Everything stopped, froze, and during that 3 to 2 months time of lockdown here in Portugal, we have experienced that, well, from all the transactions rolling, I would say that in our case we have kept moving 2 to 3 transactions that kept workflow for the team, and so it was a huge slowdown in terms of activity. Besides this legal transaction work, we have seen and worked a lot on all the legislative changes around the pandemics, and also all the doubts arising from the changes arising from the pandemics in terms of contracts, and that kept us busy for this 3 months period during the pandemics. That's it.
And then after June, July, the deals come again, and the activity have...
I would say that the activity has restarted during May. We have seen the first signs of recovery coming. Recovery meaning investors again looking into the country, trying to restart things very slowly, with a huge uncertainty around the value of the assets. So on the selling side, the sellers tried to restart the selling process, keeping the same prices, but on the buy side, the buyers tried to adjust the COVID factor, the COVID risk into the transactions, and this brought some renegotiation of deals that have started beforehand, and we have seen some deals starting again May, June, and investors returning to the country and returning to try to do some transactions between May and July. The big difference was the uncertainty, and on top of that, the slow pace of this recovery, because there was no traveling available, so investors trying to come to see assets were not able to travel, and this make a big difference. The majority of our clients, foreign clients, work from home, and not physically in the office. So this made a big change in terms of the outlook of the way we usually handle the clients during this period.
And having these present days, these last weeks, and how do you foresee the future ahead?
The restart that we have seen and the signs of recovery or restart that we have seen since May, June, July were a little bit contradictory, because the fear around the pandemics combined with the will to get to the normal life in terms of investment brought things to a pace that slowed down in August as usual. But in September we have seen more activity. All the deals that were to start by July and June, the majority of them were postponed to September, and now we have seen in September and October several selling processes coming into the market, and our activity transaction-wise in that sense restarted, despite the obvious uncertainty and the obvious slow pace in terms of negotiations, and that's it.
A last word for an outlook. How do you foresee 2021 and the following months?
Well, I would say for the last quarter of the year, I would anticipate that the pace will increase for sure in terms of workflow. I think the investors are quite optimistic around Portugal. The problem is not a local problem; it's a global problem, and the impact this has in our Portuguese small market is not so huge as we would anticipate in March. So if you would have asked me if we were here in March, if we in October, if the activity is the one that we have, I would see this quite not expectable. So this is quite good in terms of expectations, and I would say that the investment will keep to increase, because the deals that were stopped will be made until the end of the year. This said, 2021, well, that's the crystal ball working. I would anticipate that the impact that we have not yet suffered will suffer in 2021, with more opportunities in the real estate market, in the sense that some adjustments in terms of selling side will be made, and therefore more market will come, notably probably resulting from distressed assets, NPLs, adjustments in terms of pricing, because the selling side will be forced due to the end of the moratorium periods that are currently rolling with the banking sector, and also at the lease side. I would say that will force sellers to come into the market with adjusted prices, and therefore more activity and more opportunities for investors that wish to invest in Portugal. That's it. So quite good expectations in the coming months, and hopefully in 2021.